Imagine now, my friend, as you continue holding this story in your mind, the weight of the coin, the stories pressed into its silver surface, the people who once held it, the lives it touched, every purchase, every handshake, every pocket it passed through. Imagine feeling the connection to the past as if the coin itself whispered to you, telling tales of streets you never walked, shops you never entered, the bustle of America over a century ago. The cold winters, the hot summers, the laughter, the sorrow, the ambition, all captured in a small piece of metal. And it is this connection that makes the 1901 Barber Half Dollar not just rare, not just valuable, but emotionally priceless. Because you are not just holding silver, you are holding fragments of human life, of dreams and fears, of hope and despair. And as I speak to you, I want you to picture the journey. The coin traveling from hand to hand, surviving fires, floods, moving through cities, crossing rivers, sitting in drawers forgotten for decades only to resurface to shock the world. And there is something poetic, almost cinematic, about how a coin so small can hold such massive weight in the eyes of history, because in its very worn details, in its soft edges, it carries a testament that life endures. That objects we touch, the things we hold, even for a moment, can ripple across time. And now imagine standing in an auction room. The lights soft, the crowd hushed, the air electric with anticipation. Collectors leaning forward, paddles ready, eyes fixed on the 1901 Barber Half Dollar, the auctioneer's voice a rhythm. And then the first bid comes and the tension tightens. It climbs, the numbers climbing higher than most could even dream. $12 million for a coin that spent decades in pockets, that survived against odds almost impossible to calculate. And you feel a shiver run down your spine because the rarity is not just in numbers, it is in survival. In story, in proof that some things are meant to last, meant to find their way to the right person at the right time. And here is where it gets personal. Imagine that person could be you. That moment when you realize that treasure can appear in the most unexpected places. A drawer, a forgotten box, an old desk, a moment that turns ordinary life into extraordinary. And the thrill is not just in the money, it is in the story you become part of, the living connection to something bigger than yourself. And if you are feeling your heart race a little, that is good. That is exactly what it is supposed to feel like, because this is not just numismatics, this is emotional archaeology. This is touching history with your fingertips. And now, let's pause for a breath to think about the design. The craftsmanship, the artistry of Charles E. Barber, how he captured Lady Liberty with such dignified expression. How the eagle on the reverse seems almost alive. Gripping arrows and an olive branch, symbols of a nation's struggle and peace. And now imagine the coin in your hand and running your fingers over the smooth fields, feeling the faint remnants of the design and wondering about the hands that held it before yours. Wondering about the stories, the whispers, the secrets, the money exchanged, the small joys and pains of life that pass through this coin. And every collector who sees this cannot help but feel that weight, that energy, that presence, because you do not simply observe a 1901 Barber Half Dollar. You feel it, you live it, it reaches across time and connects the living to the past. And now I want to bring you into the emotional reality of selling or valuing such a coin, because if you ever stumble upon one, the decisions are enormous, the stakes real, the responsibility heavy, and it is not just about money, it is about legacy. Because $12 million is not a number, it is recognition. Respect, history acknowledged, and the right place to sell is crucial. It must be an auction house with respect and security. Heritage, Stack's Bowers, great collections, or trusted grading authority like PCGS or NGC. These are places where the coin is treated as what it truly is, a living piece of history, and when handled this way, the coin finds a buyer who understands its full weight, its full story. And every transaction becomes another chapter in its life, another layer in its legacy. And this is why collectors dream, why emotions run high, why even a used coin can feel like holding a miracle. And I want you to feel that as you sit there, imagining it, letting it sink into your heart, Because that is the essence of the 1901 Barber Half Dollar. Its human story, its survival, its journey across time. And now imagine yourself showing it to a friend. The sparkle of history in your hand, the gasp of disbelief, the realization that a small silver coin holds more than gold. More than wealth, more than metal, it holds connection, memory, time itself. And if you are watching this and feeling that emotion, that thrill, then comment right now, because your reaction is part of the story. Your participation is part of this living history. And if you have not yet subscribed to Profit Show, do it now. Because stories like this only grow with a community that feels, that cares, that treasures history as much as you do. And as we continue this journey, imagine this coin traveling again, leaving the auction room, resting in a collector's cabinet, the soft clink against glass. The light reflecting faintly off worn silver, the weight of centuries pressing gently. And every time it is viewed, it tells the story of survival, of human hands, of time that passes and still matters. And now I want to leave you with a thought that is almost poetic, almost spiritual. If you ever hold a coin like this, close your eyes and feel the lives it has touched. Feel the hopes, the worries, the laughter, the tears. Feel the ordinary people who unknowingly created something extraordinary. And understand why a 1901 Barber Half Dollar, even in used condition, can be worth $12 million. Because it is not about the coin, it is about life itself. Preserved, tangible, connected to you, to me, to everyone who ever lived and held it. And if this story has stirred you even a little, consider sending a super thanks. Consider sharing it with a friend. Consider subscribing. Because we are not just counting coins, we are feeling history, we are touching the past. We are experiencing the emotional miracle of something small that carries the weight of a nation. And now stay with me, because the next time we reveal a coin, it could be sitting right in your home, waiting, silent, patient, ready to speak to your heart the way this one has. The 1901 Barber Half Dollar, $12 million. One coin, countless stories, endless emotions. Your connection to history starts right now.